Hi guys, welcome to Meadowsweet Farm Fiber Arts Design Studio. My name's Bonnie and today is September the 12th, 2021, and welcome everybody. It is a gorgeous Sunday around 11:30, almost 12 o'clock here, and I've got a nice breeze, the wind is blowing, and it's a very pretty beginning of fall. So I'd like to welcome anyone who's new here. Thank you so much. I hope you plan on staying, and for returning subscribers, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate everyone's comments and everything that they do, that you folks do to encourage me to keep on podcasting. So I'd like to start off just by saying this is primarily a knitting. I talk a lot about knitting, but I'm also involved in all kinds of other crafts. So I do spinning, I do weaving, I mostly do weaving. I do bobbin lace, but for some reason I can't remember the pattern. So I end up, if I have somebody there that is helping me along, I do okay with bobbin lace, and then poof, as soon as I walk away from it and try to do it again, I totally forget it. So bobbin lace, I do a tiny bit of crocheting, and I just dabble in just about any crafts, but spinning, knitting, and weaving are primarily my focal points. So I live on a farm in a small community called Hickory, Pennsylvania, and I live here with I have two daughters, and they're grown up, and Samantha lives in Pittsburgh and Jacqueline lives in Connecticut, and they're making their way through the world, changing the world one minute at a time. They're doing great. And I have 8 chickens. I have 2 beehives, and I have 2 horses. And so it's quite a busy place. I enjoy gardening as well, and just managing to keep up with everything that's here. So it's been a little while. Last time I podcasted, I think it was about sometime, I think it was either mid or maybe towards the end of July. And just to give you a little bit of an update, I'll get it out of the way because it does tie in with my future plans here at Meadowsweet Farm. So you have to excuse me. I have a little, usually when the weather starts getting cold, my sinuses start to flare up a little bit. So I'm a little froggy. I'm drinking some, it's like fizzy water, and 0 calories, of course. So, but anyway, this summer I had to get, my house is 30 years old, and I had to get major house maintenance done. And so it started off the summer, my air conditioning needed replaced, then my furnace needed replaced, and I went from an electric furnace to a propane furnace, which meant that I needed a propane tank. So they buried the tank, and then we had a really bad rainstorm, and one of the shingles on the top of my roof was off, and a whole bunch of water came in my daughter's bedroom, and there was a giant, well, first it was a big bubble in the ceiling, and then a day later, Stephen said, "You don't want to look in that room." And I did, and everything had come down, the ceiling where the hole was. So that prompted me to say, well, my My shingles on the roof are 30 years old, and they were 25-year-old shingles. They're, you know, lasting for 25 years. So that was a ginormous expense. I had to have that done. And then we decided to get water up to the barn and electricity up to our large barn. And then we have a little shed off of there, so they just continued with the electricity over to the little shed. And that was major. You know, they had to dig the trench and do all the lines and all that kind of stuff. So I still have to have an electrician come out and put the electric box on the inside and do all the wiring inside the barn, but in both barns, but at least the major stuff is done. And then I had my driveway sealed, which that was 2 days of, we weren't able to get down the driveway until everything was sealed and dried. And then this past weekend, I had guys come out, and my house is fairly large and I have a ton of windows. And so the guys came out and they took all the storm windows out and cleaned those and cleaned all the windows in the house. And that was an enormous job. I think they thought they were going to be here for like an hour. And it was like, I think they started at 2 and they were done around 7. It was a big job. And they did you know, they had their squeegees and buckets of water, and they really did a good job, and it needed it. And what a difference that makes in your house when your windows are clean. Mine were, oh, they were filthy. They were awful. All the screens are clean, everything's done. So as they were washing windows, I was pulling off all my curtains and shears, and I threw everything in the washer. So little by little, there was a couple curtains that really needed replaced. So I'm looking online. I ordered some shears this morning. So yeah, that's what's been happening here. But leading up to, you know, all this maintenance and everything that's been going on, the reason I wanted to get the necessity things that I knew needed repaired was because my next project, the next thing that I am planning on doing, I have a 3-car garage, and what I'm going to do is convert the garage into a studio space. Now, I have been dreaming of doing this for probably as long as I've been spinning and weaving and knitting. And I started using a knitting machine and spinning when my daughter Jacqueline was about 2, and she's 32 now. So this has been a long time in the making. And I do have an Etsy shop. I do, in fact, I'm planning on going to a local show here in Hickory. It's the Apple Festival, and that's coming up the first weekend in October. But I have just really wanted to experiment with making different things, and you know, just having, I think this is my way of easing into retirement business. So my plan is to replace the garage doors that are on there. There's 3 bays, replace those with sliding glass doors. And then I had a contractor come out, and I think they have to raise the floor in the garage because it's a cement pad, and put insulation down there before they can put the flooring down. So I wanted to get all the things that needed to be done out of the way before I jumped into a big expense with redoing the garage into my studio. And my ultimate goal is, because I am a professor at a college and I love teaching, I would like to offer classes here once I get the studio done. And there is a room above the garage that I would like to have if somebody wants to you know, spend a couple days here and do some weaving with me. So that is my long-term plan. That's my goal. And I think it's a beautiful place for people to come and to be able to enjoy nature and enjoy the space here that I have and all the equipment that I've been collecting over the years to actually take this leap. So one of the things that I am going to be offering in my studio space and also in my Etsy shop is I had these bags made. They're a little wrinkly, but I had the logo for my bags done, and then on the back of it is what is kind of my little slogan, I guess you could say. I create beautiful handmade textiles inspired by ancient makers of our past and the beauty found in all things kissed by the sun. So I'm gonna be selling these. Oops, I'm not very good at selling my own things. These, and I also have little pins made, and I'm going to be going to Rhinebeck, so I'll probably be passing out my little Meadowsweet Farm Fiber Arts Design Studio pins. So yeah, so these will be in my shop too if you want to purchase one of these. So I've been doing a lot of soul searching of different things. I make beeswax candles. I have made some bags. I make hand-woven scarves. Trying to think. I do some sewing. I've made some dog coats that have Velcro straps on them. Gabe has one that I made. It's a really pretty fleece that I really like a lot. It goes with his coat. It's like an orange color. And so I've been just kind of experimenting and dabbling in different things. And one of the things that I really enjoy making is I like to do things that you can use recycled material. And that really means a lot to me. And so what I've been doing is I've been weaving rag rugs, which they have such an incredible history. Not only a history in the United States, which is probably like the early 20th century, but also it's very Eastern European. And women would string their warp from either one house to another or from the house to a tree, and then they would use what's called a bardo, and it's a very large, it almost looks like a shutter, and it has holes and slots similar to what you would see on a, just on a small framed loom. And the name escapes me. I know you're probably all screaming it at me. Not an inkle loom. I can't think of it. Maybe I'm nervous. But anyway, I weave my rugs on, I have a late 18th century large floor loom that I have been using to weave my rugs. And then I make placemats on my little Julia, which is my little red loom. And I'm actually gonna put Julia in the back of Thomas the truck and take Julia to the festival with me, and I'm gonna sit and weave and demonstrate weaving. But I wanted to show you, now this is one of the rag rugs that I've woven, and it's just strips, and I have actually had this on my floor in my kitchen beside my sink, but it's just strips of fabric, and you just and then I make a little hem here. And what I was thinking of doing, I like to weave very thin strips, And what I was thinking of doing was maybe doing some rag rug bags. So I'm gonna experiment with a couple patterns and see if I can come up with some really cool designs. So this is dirty, it's been on my floor, it needs to be thrown in the washer. These things, they wear like iron. They are absolutely, you throw them on the floor, you wipe your shoes off with them, you throw them in the laundry, they come out looking great. You know, if you have slippery floors, you can put some of that floor tape or one of those little rubber things underneath them. But they just are amazing. And whenever I was at Margie Manchester's farm doing some historic research in her attic, she has several, because she has a floor loom in one of her outbuildings from one of her ancestors that used it. And they were weaving rag rugs, and they were doing really, really thin strips of fabric. And those rugs, they're absolutely beautiful. So just by taking some strips of fabric, you know, old sheets, pillowcases, you can even use t-shirts and cut them up into strips, sew the strips together, and then you weave them. Now I don't do very good with making these little balls. They should probably be tighter, but I have cut up, I just tear strips and strips of fabric like that, and then I set up my loom and I weave, and I've been making placemats on my Julia, and this one isn't done. It's finished, it's woven, but it just needs hemmed. So I'll try to just show you the good part, because it really just needs hemmed. I think there might be two in here. Oh, okay. So this is, you know, it just came off the loom, but you can see I cut I cut right here to cut them open, and then I fold this hem down and hand sew it and fold that one down. And it's really fun when you start working with different colors of fabric, and you can actually you know, it just changes the color. So these strips, which they're about a 1/2 inch thick, that's that fabric. So so I've been making those, and I've just really enjoyed this. I've really had fun with this. So these will also be on my website, but these are thinner than what you would make an actual rag rug, because the fabric strips are a lot thinner. And so I'm thinking that this would actually, you know, if it were wider and longer, it would actually make a really nice project bag. So I'm going to experiment with some different styles on that as well. So if you're interested, once I get these together and you can see what they look like, I will be having these in my Etsy shop as well. Okay, so I've been doing a lot of weaving. I have a finished project, but it's upstairs, and I want to block it before I show it to you. And it's a hand-spun, hand-woven shawl that I had on my loom for quite some time, and I finally was able to get that woven, and I want to just block it and make sure it's looks nice before I let you guys take a peek at it. I am working on my half triangle wrap, and this is with oops, I've got a couple stitches here. This is with the linen quill from Pearl Soho, and I'm trying to get this done for Rhinebeck, but I am I'm such a slow knitter. One thing that I've been experimenting with, I've taken the lead from, oops, I just noticed I dropped a stitch there, from Leslie Friend, and she has a lovely podcast. Hi, Leslie. But what I've done is I've taken the lead from her, and I'm experimenting with continental knitting to see if I can speed up my knitting a little more, because I'm a thrower, and so far it might be a tiny bit faster. I just have to keep going and trying, but there's no way I'm gonna get this done from Rhinebeck. Maybe I'll just wear it around my neck. So, and I know they're giving away incredible prizes, and I'm not gonna be eligible because I'm not gonna finish it. I love this yarn though. I absolutely love this. I don't think I would ever make one of these again, but I am gonna buy enough yarn to weave a shawl, a half-half triangle. It won't be a triangle, it'll just be a half-half rectangle shawl using 2 different colors from Pearl Soho. I am gonna do that. So, but yeah, that's that. Now I'll show you my acquisitions. And I've bought a ton of stuff. I'm not gonna show you everything today because it would take me forever. So let me just show you a couple things. I do have the 52 Weeks of Shawls book, and it's not that I don't like to knit socks. I don't know why, I just always get sidetracked. I have a pair of socks on the needles for Steven in my project gigantic like basket of stuff that I started, and I am gonna finish it, but I'm trying to dedicate all my attention to see how far I can get on that before Rhinebeck. But I did get this, and this is a phenomenal book. Oh my gosh. There's gorgeous, gorgeous socks, the photography, the charts, everything in this book is amazing. I just love it. So maybe for 2022, I'll be experimenting more with socks. And I really, really like So Sweet Violet. I love some of her sock patterns that she has. Okay. I did go to Pittsburgh Knit and Crochet, and I went there specifically to meet Helen and Mary Beth from Toad Hollow, and I got to meet them. Are they lovely? Oh my gosh, they are such sweet, as cute and funny as they are on their podcast. When you meet them in person, it's just like, it's like Christmas. They are amazing. So I was able to have a long conversation with them, and the yarn that they dyed for the Pittsburgh Knit and Crochet was, the name of it is Hello Neighbor Pittsburgh 2021. Is that ever gorgeous? And this was after, because Mr. Rogers lived and filmed the Mr. Rogers show here in Pittsburgh. I was like, I have to get this. But look at these colors. Gorgeous fall, beautiful colors. So I think it's gonna be a scarf of some kind. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so I got that. And then I have been admiring, ever since they showed this on their podcast, it's the Surprise Party Shawl, and this is by Helen Stewart. And this is the colors that Helen knit up, which I absolutely loved. What happened was, I bought the colors that Mary Beth, I got minis. I don't have very many minis, but I bought this at the festival. Are they ever beautiful? That gorgeous soft pastel. And then paired with this, oh my gosh, look at that. Look at it, Linda. I know, I make all the strings show. Oh, and it smells so good too. So I got this, and then when I went home, I was looking on their website, and I was like, you know what? I know, Gabe's barking at bunnies. Then I got Helen's color palette. So he's gonna keep barking. Here's what happens. I looked out this morning, he was doing this, and there's a bunny that sits right on the edge of the driveway and just stares at him, and it drives him crazy. This morning, I looked outside and he had a dead groundhog that I had to like pick up with a shovel and get rid of. Excuse me while I attend to him. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I think we're gonna have to deal with the barking. I'm almost finished. Anyway, so I bought both of those, and then they were selling these gorgeous bag kits. And it's make your own market tote. I don't know if you can see the picture very well. There you go. But these are really pretty. They have a nice big pocket in the front. And I love the rooster fabric. And then this is the lining, I think, which is eggs, which is really cute. Kind of looks like eggs. And then it even comes with a little bit of lining inside. So I watched the video. They have some really good tutorials on how to make these. And I watched that, and I've put together bags before, and they're, you know, they do some things a little differently. Now I did order, they just came out with this on Friday. I have string in my water. They just came out with, it's a quilt as you go tote bag. And so I ordered that, and they have a tutorial. And how kind is that they include the tutorials with their kits. And their kits are reasonably priced if you're interested in purchasing one. They're really, really, really reasonably priced. So, so those are the things. And then I did get this, this ribbon that they were selling as well for sweaters and just about anything. Isn't that pretty? So, so that is pretty much it. I do, like I said, I have been purchasing a lot of things. I'll wait. I'll just like slowly show you some of the stuff I bought. So I'm almost finished with kind of the labor-intensive stuff that has been needed here to make sure the house stays standing. And I am going to be spending some time up in the loft of the barn and also the little shed, cleaning up and organizing and getting everything together there. And then I'm headed down into my basement, and I'm going to organize all my fabric and all my yarns and get everything so that I can see what I have. And when I start planning a project, you know, I can go down in my basement and go shopping rather than not. Right now it's all in boxes, and I have no idea what I have. And most of it has come from Stephen's mom's property, so I just have tons of fabric. And I'd like to be able to use that fabric to make quilt-as-you-go bags that I could sell in my shop, as well as some of the rag rugs and some of the rag bags and things like that. So I will be posting photos of different things that I'll be putting in my shop, and if you're interested, you know, feel free to send me a note or head over to Etsy and see what I have over there. So the rest of the video is about beekeeping, and it's about my chickens, and there's just some funny Stephen clips in there as well. So if you don't want to stick around for that, I hope everyone has a beautiful, safe Sunday, and I hope everyone is doing well, and I will see everyone soon. Bye for now. Take care. I just wanted to show you, I have been washing fleece, and right over here is everything that's dry. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I have some other ones drying that I haven't put in bags yet. So, and that totals up to 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus I have some mohair, or some Angora, and I think I have a little bit of Kiviot, and I have a mohair fleece and some mohair locks. But look at this. I just love it. So what I did was I washed the fleeces in Tide and soaked them. I must have did like a wash in Tide, and then I rinsed it for like 2 or 3 times. But I do want to put some lavender oil and soak it in that again. So before I process this into a drum carder and make it into bats, I'm going to soak this again and put some different oils in here just to keep the moths from chomping at it and make it smell pretty when I spin it. So there you have it. So I've got this gorgeous brown black, and that's from Carrie, from my wool mitten. And I've got this gray. I love this. I did a little bit of carding just to see what it would look like. It's beautiful. I've got some of this white. Oh, look at that, how beautiful. And more beautiful locks. And some more. This feels like a merino fleece. It's very fine. So I got my work cut out for me. Okay, so I'm on my back porch, and I've got my Louette carder, and I have my blending board, and I just ran Carrie's little river fiber through the carder, and now I'm gonna put it on the blending board. Okay, so I did it 2 different ways. The first way was I started with a layer of River's fleece, and then I added, look at this, I added this And then I put another layer of River's fleece on top of that. And I like that. That's really pretty. Then the second way is I did a layer of the colored fleece, and then I did a layer of River, and then another layer. And they both turned out really pretty. So I'm probably just going to do a combination of each. Okay guys, I purchased this, I think about a year ago on Facebook, and I really love it. I absolutely love the colors, the green, the little shiny little bits, the purple, just the silk. I just love this bat. And I am in the market for purchasing an electric drum carder, and I think I've narrowed it down. So what I'm curious about, oh, look at that. Is that ever gorgeous? What I am curious about is when you take the bats off the drum carder, the fibers should go like this. You know, these are all running this way. And this measures about 35 inches. So my question is, was this done on a great big giant commercial drum carder? Or is this a technique that I'm not aware of that makes these giant bats? So if anybody knows, let me know. I'd appreciate it. I mean, it is just chock full. It's very thick. Are they doing some kind of layering technique? Because the widest drum carder that I've seen for, I think it's Brother, I think that one's about 18, you get a bat that's 18 inches wide. So, I mean, it just can't be this way. And I think even at this measures, if you go this way, it measures 22, but that, you can't take that off a drum carder that way. So if anybody has any solutions, let me know.
B-Man. I'm B-Man. I'm here to take care of your bees, ma'am. That makes me B-Man and you're B-ma'am. Get it? All right, well. I'm a beekeeper, sung to the music of I'm a girl watcher. Okay, hit it. Should it be a little faster than that?
You're standing in the rain.
Huh?
You're standing in the rain.
Oh, it's not raining that bad.
We got a new...
Thriller. Or like that drunk in L.A. Either way, it was great. Great cinema. Great street theater. I think it's the theater of the absurd, is what they call it.
I don't see anything in the way of brood. I see a bunch of erupted queen cells. But you are clean out of queen.